So I have confirmed. I don't know if I uploaded the video where I talked about it, but it's right here. This is the anyone using an S25 Ultra. If you are ever recording something and you notice your voice sounds muffled, which I'm guessing they put it on the very top of the phone because they are expecting you to hold the phone upright. And so, of course, then it would just make it the least likely area for it to get covered. But if you are doing a, landscape horizontal recording, your hand can absolutely cover it and it'll just create like a muffled, feedback from it. But something that has been kind of permeating on my mind this morning and last night and over the couple past 2 days or so is kind of something what I used to joke around with people and say, oh, life lesson such and such and such, right? Well, one that I do think, because I work in restaurants currently, and hopefully not for much longer. I've finished out the last actual set of weekdays for it. I'm still open there for weekends because it is nice just to get a little bit of extra cash. But a life lesson, and if anyone was listening to this and you are between the ages, really you could do the moment in which you become kind of sentient or cognizant of your surroundings. So maybe age 10 to, let's say, 30 or 28, 30, 35, however old you are, this could be something that's beneficial. And it's that just simply life lesson. Some people get it, some people don't. And this will be something that will happen through multiple different experiences in life. And one that I, at least as of recently, just get this just continuous, you know, moment throughout the day where I'm thinking like, you just don't get it, do you? And I think that, this was, I've been thinking this well before, but it was such a good scene in the Joker movie. Like when he tells her, you wouldn't get it. I've seen that movie a bunch of different times. Like, I thought it was a really, really good film, but a lot of what happens in that movie, it's making the Joker and then, the actor Joaquin Phoenix. He did such a good job kind of playing the role in that. And that's one of the things that I do like about the DC versus Marvel movies is that they're more gritty and real. And maybe part of it was that when I watched it the first time, I mean, it's just it's an obscene freaking movie, and then it's the score on it was really really good. But that scene plays in my head like frequently, you know, and it's like largely ironic because the Arthur guy Joker. I mean, he does a lot of really crazy shit in the movie, but it's just that you wouldn't get it. Like you don't get it, and that's one of the things I think young people need to learn to understand. And this is not something that I think a lot of young people don't get. Like if they have those moments where they're thinking like, dude, you don't you don't get it. Like you don't see what it is that I'm talking about. Like, if you ever have those moments, those don't really ever change. People don't change. And what's worse is that over the years of as you watch people get older, it kind of verges this, do you just not get it? Like, do you not see what is going on around you? Or do you just simply not care? Or do you see it and you just are playing pretend to act as though you don't get it? You know, like you don't really see what it is that either you're talking about or what is going on around you or how their behavior is perceived in like how the behavior is perceived like a dog humping a pillow. The dog doesn't get it, and that's something like maybe that's a way to put it, but that like some people get it and some people don't. It's kind of like a some people are just with it and they are able to be real, be genuine, and working in restaurants is such a good way. Like it's a very like masochist way to go about. I don't want to say learning it, like learning that, but to get these, like, what's a way to put it? Like these, I don't want to say undeniable, but it becomes like you do begin to start realizing that there are just situations and people that they never take, and not getting it could be a lack of taking self accountability, you know, and even within some people get it, some people don't. It's whether or not you do or do not understand what is going on around you. It's that if you do and then you are attempting to like gaslight those around you to get them to think of, like see it through their skewed logic, where it's gaslighting into believing something that you don't even believe, but you then go and maintain this charade of whatever it is they're trying to convince you of to be the truth. Because the amount of times that I've been like, they're like, all right, this one place that I've worked, it was a fine dining place, and this one chick was late all the time, all the all the time. And I'm actually friends with this person, so it's not like I dislike them, because I remember we had a conversation where it was they're always late. They're always late, and then when they are there, they're just kind of this, I don't want to say a problematic employee, but there's nothing that they can get fired for what it is they're doing. And I remember that she and I were, they call it the dungeon, which is where all of the computers are to put orders in, right? And I ask her, I'm like, I kind of confront her on it, and she knew, like, see, she got it. She knew that when I was asking her this, I wasn't asking her in an attacking way. Like, why are you always late? Like, you don't see how that affect, because, dude, I didn't give a fuck. Like, I didn't care. Like, I don't care you're always late. It doesn't make a shit of difference to me if you're late. And she was a back waiter, so she wasn't really, and she never wanted to be a front waiter because she liked the extra bit of money. She had like a primary job, and the place that she and I were working at together at the time, I don't know if she still works there. I know she works at the primary job still, but she didn't want to be a front waiter because she didn't want to take on more accountability and responsibility. And as long as she's like a back waiter, she's not a runner, so she's a back waiter, but she's not really that, filled with the necessity for responsibility within the restaurant. So if she wanted to take time off work, and it's like she knew, it's like she got it, like she understood that, well, very few people want to be back waiters. They want to move up to like a front waiter or a captain. I don't want to do that because I want to be able to dick off. Like she got it. She got, and that they always need people. Like no one wants to do the job she's doing, right? But not everyone can. And then they tried to make her a front waiter, but she was, you know, So she's doing a job in which she's more competent for, and she knows that they can't really find people of her, you know, capability level. So she's in a sweet spot. Like, she got it. She knew she could just kind of scheme the system. But, the thing that I confronted her on was like, do you get it? And you just play like you get it, but you just play like you don't, right? Like, you just are bullshitting. And she pretty much said, what I've just described. I was like, you show up like late all the time. And then she would always tell them, she'd always have an excuse. And it was an excuse that was within the frame of, how do I put it? Like, acceptable, like it's by the book, so they can't really write her up for it. Like, she knows what she can and cannot say, she knows what she can and cannot do, and then she understands the gray area where in restaurants it can be this, like, oh, you're late today, oh yeah, such a such a such a such a such happened. Well, the reality was you overslept. But even the managers sometimes, and this one specific manager who, if I run into her in public, I knew her before working at this place. So she she knows that I would be bold face fucking lying to her if, you know, whatever little infraction it is. And that's another thing. They're always gonna have to fucking get on your ass about these petty little like these, like, oh, you didn't course everything out in the right time frame. And the person mentioned, and didn't complain, but mentioned that, well, the food took a little long to get to the table. Well, that's because I fucking forgot, right? Like, straight up, like, oh, I just forgot to put the shit in. I had it coursed out. I just, for whatever reason, meant to and forgot. Well, I would just make up bullshit to her. And she'd be like, oh, okay, that sounds, yeah, oh no, I understand. And she would look at me like, motherfucker, you just forgot. Some people would not even play that. They wouldn't even, they would just be like, oh yeah, my bad, I forgot. But I knew her well enough that I could just, and you really shouldn't say, oh, I just forgot, right? Because it makes you look bad. And over the long scheme of things, those little tiny problems can amalgamate to this bigger issue now. It's like adding a singular grain of rice. Like, if y'all know each other well enough, and then she's like, or even really, she would just come over and be like, oh yeah, they complained about, or they didn't complain, they like mentioned whatever, they said that the food took a little long, did you just happen to blah 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 blah? And I'd be like, oh yeah, that's exactly what happened. And she'd look at me like, I mean, I know you just forgot, but I don't care, and I like you enough that I'll cover for you. That's kind of what it is, right? But here, but yeah, I don't know if I completed saying, and as I listen to these back, I notice I will be making a point, taper off to something else, then never make the original point again. So that's something these videos are helping on. But with this girl, let's just call her Miss K, right? I brought it up to her, and I didn't confront her about it because, like I said, I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't. And she pretty much said, like, they know that I know that they know that I know. Like, it is this unspoken, like, she didn't say that like explicitly verbatim, but that was the point she was making. She got it, that they get it, that she gets it, that they get it, right? Like, we're both on the same page. You all know that this is a fucking job that I work on the weekends, 2 days a week, 4 days a month type job, right? And I have something else that I'm doing, and I simply don't care to become a front waiter. And this, like, the people that if any point would reprimand her, they understood this, that, like, she don't want to work in restaurants forever. She don't want to work in them right then. But she had obligations that she needed to take care of, and that was good side money. It was outside of the, you know, status that she was interested in, but it was a short enough amount of time each week that she, or each month really, that she was fine with doing it because she can stomach it only for so long. And outside of the charade of being reprimanded, she would flat out tell him the truth of what she just told me. And that was the thing about her, is she was just so willing to tell you exactly what she thought. You knew, right, what she thought. And it gets to the point where you don't even have to ask her. You know what her opinion is going to be. So then if you reprimand her, she's just like, you know how I feel about this. So why are you angry at me? And it's fucking true. So she would tell them, like, I don't give a fuck about this job. I'm working here because I can make some little extra money. Like, you think I need this job? No, I do it because it's extra money. That's exactly why. Do I do it? It's like, when I'm here, is what I'm doing correct? Am I trying to do what it is that you need me to do? Right. But I care, but I don't care enough to show up perfectly on time because I know y'all bullshit and stand around and y'all are all full of fucking shit. She would tell them that. Y'all are acting like a fucking manager, but I was out with you 2 weeks ago and you were doing fucking lines of cocaine in the bathroom. So don't sit here and fucking high horse me, bitch. Like, that's the sort of person she was. And I fucking loved her for it. And I'm still cool with her to this day. And she and I did not get along when we first met. But I'm trying to give points and understanding of what it is to mean they either get it or they don't. Like, you either get it or you don't, right? If you can see through their charade, it becomes one of those, you get it, that I get it, that you get it, that I get it, right? If you know, you know that I know that you know that I know. So do we really need to talk about it? We're both at this fucking job and I don't want to do this shit. You don't want to do this shit. You ain't got shit going for you, bitch. So you're just mean to everyone around you because you just hate yourself, right? You get it. You see people. What's that, away you or whatever it was from Avatar, where it's like, I don't see you, I see you, right? And where's the thing at? In certain circumstance, and I'll give this, right? There's this manager I used to have. We'll call her B. Okay, we'll call her B. Well, B, she would purposefully write up, and she is exactly the person I'm talking about. If you were to have listened to the other video, at one point I say, a man, like, how do people get promoted into these positions they're totally incompetent for? Like, this woman would make expectation of you that she could not fulfill herself. She couldn't do what it is she's asking you to do, and she's not going to, nor does she want to do what it is she's asking you to do. Well, she would purposefully write up people, admittedly, and she, knew I knew, she knew I knew, right? She knew that when I knew her prior to working at this place, I knew her, and she would admit to shit like this. So she knows that I play the little game that she plays, and I'm simply better at it. Like, we would have these conversations. Well, she would purposefully write you up twice if she didn't like you, because she has to go by the book of having write-ups to get you fired. So if she doesn't like you for whatever reason, and it was normally a totally personal reason, it was not because you were a bad worker or this or that or whatever. It could have been your vocal inflection when speaking to her was not how you would speak to a manager. You're not playing her game, right? You're not playing the game with her. You're not letting her be manager, right? Just like that study they did where they took a bunch of college students and made some of them prison guards and the other ones prisoners, and they started playing it too seriously. Well, she would write you up to have you under her thumb. You do anything she tells you to do. She has control over you in the workplace, right? And this other manager, will call her Jay. Well, I told Jay about what B said, and Jay was like, oh, that's like the best idea ever. And I was sitting there looking at her thinking, I'm actively talking about how this manager's behavior prevented them from keeping employees. And you think what she was doing that made it a problem to keep employees is so great because she wants to be able to sit and manipulate and control people. That's what it is. Like, she's the same person that when there are young girls, because it's a place that a lot of college age chicks go and work at, so they're there and she will fraternize with them in this little mean girls, the clique, it crew. And that's exactly what this person B did. There was this girl that I ended up dating. B fucking hated me. Now, why? I don't know. I do have my theories, but those are irrelevant to what we're being talking about right now. She, so we'll call the other one, the girl I was dating, we'll call her R. So B tells R, oh yeah, don't date him, he's terrible. And R would tell me all of this. She would tell me that she just sits all day and just goes on and on and on and on and on about how horrible you are. And then I'll go in and bear in mind, I would be like in the dining room and I would like look over and there's R and she would be looking at me like confused. And I would ask her later, and that's how she told me this, is I would ask her, like, because she was the host, okay? She would come over, like, or I would ask her later, like, what was that about? You know, because she and I had that kind of, like, connection where I could just be flat out, like, why were you looking at me weird earlier? And she was like, oh, because B just sits and rails on and on and on about you all day. And I'll go in there and see, and you are not doing anything that she's claiming you to do. Well, B fucking hated me. R really liked me. She did. We liked each other. It was great. She became back waiter. She'd always be my back waiter. And then the sour faced fucking bartender chick. I don't even like what was her name. I remember it reminded me of a Pokemon gym leaders type name. Anyway, we'll call her Bartender Girl. Well, Bartender Girl was like, well, maybe y'all would like. I remember one time I was not like R was not there, and the bitter bartender chick was like, well, maybe if y'all didn't lovingly look into your eyes, then you know such and such, whatever the fuck she was saying. And I remember thinking, like, you're so fucking bitter. Like, you're fucking bitter. Like, why does it matter? Because they would put R and I, we would be put in this, like, section that is going to guaranteed to leave early. We're guaranteed to leave fucking early, right? It's the section really no one wants because you really don't get much business. But she or I did not fucking care at all at the time. We didn't care because all we did, we were pretty much hanging out, standing in this back dungeon area. And it's, you know, neither one of us really cared about the job, needed it. Like, we're fed the fuck up with it. Like, we just both really, like, the management knew that, like, we didn't really care that much. And the management knew that we did just enough to make sure everything runs smoothly and that we're not going to complain about leaving early and we're working together. Well, the B manager woman whom I knew before would want to play like the It Click crew with R, and I told her this, and she like knew, but I guess like me confirming what she was thinking, you know, was like kind of an aha moment. Told her not to ever really date me, be friends with me. I'm horrible. I'm this terrible person. And then R gets to know me and realizes that B is full of shit. She's full of shit. And then R would not play her game. Well, R would just manipulate the shit out of B. Once this started, she would text me, I don't want to go to work today. I'm gonna call B and just make up a story. And I'd be like, okay, let me know how that goes. And she would be like, yeah, she totally bought it. Like, even if she didn't buy it, she knew she had the leverage with B, and her managerial role was fucking irrelevant in that context. And that if she wanted off, B would just capitulate and be like, "Oh, girl, of course, girl, you go take today off." Little did she know she'd be coming hang out with me because we were both off. So that was like everything B was trying to do. And the thing is, the chick B just doesn't get it. She plays this game and she thinks she gets it, but she doesn't get it. She doesn't. She doesn't even get that she doesn't get it. Just everything about her is so blatantly obvious to everyone, and everyone is like playing this charade around her to make her just like to make her understand they don't even care to fucking like coddle her feelings. They let it be known they don't like her. But she then continues to be like a child standing in the center of the room playing hide and seek, but all they've done is cover their eyes. If they can't see you, you can't see them, right? But the B manager and J manager are both just the fucking same. Like they're the same. J thinking that B writing people up twice to have them under her thumb was a good idea just showed her complete obliviousness to what is actually happening. Like they're always it's everyone else's fault. It's never my fault. They don't get it. They don't even get they are, and I could use my sister as example. I do not talk to my sister anymore at all. She's my older sister, been an absolute nightmare my entire fucking life. And she doesn't get it. Like she does, but she really doesn't. Like she doesn't. You know, a meth head robbing a store in a meth binge and getting away kind of, they think they've done something, but they haven't. Like they think they're like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm getting a come up." But they don't see that they really don't get it, so much so that they're living in this delusion and they can't even be convinced they're living in a delusion. Both these J and B, and I don't necessarily want to fat shame, but they were both bloated whales. They were. They are like wearing clothes that slender, attractive women would wear, and the pants are too tight, and it looks like they're the pants that these people would buy. These pants, I'm going to fit into them one day. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to lose weight and fit in these pants. Okay, well, I bought pants like that a long ass time ago, just a singular pair on sale. The last pair they had left was a few sizes too small. And let me tell you, when you finally do lose the weight to fit into them, I assure you that there is going to then be something else wrong with them. These pants, like, I bought them willy nilly. I want to be able to fit in these pants one day. I eventually was able to. But then I realized that if I wasn't the weight that I was when I bought them, which wasn't overweight, the pants that I bought were a 31 waist. I at the time were like a 33. Okay, so you're holding like bits of fat around your stomach, your midsection, and it just makes the pants slightly too tight. You have kind of like fat on your upper thigh a little, so it makes like the groin area a little too tight. And when you finally can get to wear them, if I was the correct weight when I bought them, I would have never bought them because I thought the cut was terrible. The cut didn't look right. Like it was the simple factor of wanting to lose weight and fit this idea of what you want to be. But then when you can, you realize that's not who you are. And that's the outfits that these two women wear. Like they'll wear stuff that is for women that they aren't. It's not them. And I can give an example in that Jay has back rolls and her like pelvic bone and hip placement, even if she was lower weight, she would look a lot better. But the outfit and the decisions and the person that she wants to be or thinks she is is not even under the weight. Even if you lost the weight, you are not who you think you're going to be, right? And it's not even that I would think these people need to be shamed or embarrassed or told how stupid they are, but I was having a conversation with this regular that comes in all the time. We'll call him Jay, okay? What time is this at? 30 minutes in. If I ever see him again, because I won't be working weekdays at that place anymore, so I may never see him again. But if I do, I'm gonna let him know because he is the type that would want to hear this. I'm gonna let him know that that I talked about him because he'll just get a huge kick out of it. But Jay fucking gets it. Like he gets it. Like he's with it. You see when you talk to him, like you're thinking like this dude is fucking with it. You know, he understands. I was talking to him about this other employee. We'll call her S, right? And these are in the category of the 80% of completely given up. These are the 80% of people you're going to have to deal with. So So I don't remember the exact point I was going to make, but this, surprisingly enough, video literally just utilized a phrase, the Dunning-Kruger effect. That has to be exactly what I'm talking about. I've never heard of that, but that's a really good one. The Dunning-Kruger effect. You're so stupid you don't even know you're stupid. Like you don't get it so much you just don't even see that you don't get it. You know. But I can pan to another employee, this one, which I don't remember the exact point I was going to be making, but she's another example of it that she plays video games all the time. And she now has carpal tunnel in both hands. Okay. And she would look decent if she lost weight and she wants to lose weight and she would, but she's not going to do anything about it. But she seeks comfort in playing video games that is now given her carpal tunnel, which is, I think, carpal tunnel has a lot to do with your hands not being utilized enough that you begin to have the muscles in your hand atrophy. And it causes all of your like bones in your hands to not be at its correct position, causing pain. And she doesn't get it that she's eventually going to be in too much pain to even continue playing video games. She is also a scalper for Pokemon cards. Well, I don't sell them. My boyfriend does. Shelby is just the whatever. She's supposed to be called S. But Shelby, that's her name. She's never going to listen to this. She she like doesn't, I don't know if she like she could, cuz I know she does. Like I know she fucking understands because she's done things where she then gets all giddy that her little scheme worked, right? And she plays this like pity me. Oh, the 80% of people you're going to be dealing with in restaurants. Just the fucking perfect example of when she's so nice, so friendly with you, with full intent of taking advantage of you. She has this boyfriend who she, he doesn't want her doing this and that and this. And if she didn't do those things, and she admits that if she didn't do those things, her life would be better. He wants her to be a better person. Like, I think you should maybe we should try and be more active type stuff. Well, she's just doing everything he doesn't want her to do behind his back. And I think they've been together 4 years. He's told her that she doesn't want, like, he does not want kids with her and he doesn't want to marry her. And she stays in the relationship anyway. She festers and wallows. She festers in this pity me class advantage. Okay. She festers in this pity me like mindset. And doesn't realize, or if she like I'm convinced she does. It's like she doesn't realize, but she just doesn't fucking care. Like I don't know if she just who is that? Oh, it's Rain. I don't know if she doesn't care, is too apathetic, or like I said, the 80% have just completely given up, just fed into the negative lifestyle, the negative mindset so much that she now seeks pity because of it. I confronted her on being a scalper, and she was like, "Well, if you can't beat them, join them." And it feeds her addiction. And I don't sell them. I don't resell them. My boyfriend does. So it's like two addicts. It's like addicty behavior. And then she doesn't want like she wants to leave work all the time early. All she wants to do is go play fucking computer games and open Pokemon cards, but she's a scalper, and then she will do things at work like scheme situations about even something like a bag of cookies. A table gave someone a bag of cookies, but it was my table. So by some definitions within the workplace like hierarchy, they were given as my table, so they're mine. Well, she went and hid them and ate several of them, and they were supposed to be shared between everyone. But she took them off and ate them like a little fucking gremlin in the corner, ate them, ate several, then put ice cream on it, and just giddily eats it. And I remember I asked her, I'm like, where the hell did we get cookies from? Oh, I don't know. And I was like joking with her, kind of like, I really didn't even give a fuck. But then I remember saying, like, when it all kind of came out, someone else told me, oh, yeah, that was from your table. So I'm like, so they were pretty much mine. And I look at her and I'm like, and you hid them and wouldn't tell me. And she giddily laughs, tee hee 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 hee. And I knew the whole time, these are the sorts of people you're working with. Where it's that, if it's something as menial as that, like you won't even let me, like, do you think I fucking care? No, you just want to do this little teeny scheme, and just like being a scalper on cards, she gets off on it. These people who buy all of that product, they get off on it, and then they utilize pity to try to get you to not be upset with them. It's that sort of shit. It's like you do these backhanded, shady, fucked up things, and then you want to, like, but you're not mad at me, right? Oh, please, just don't be mad at me. And it's like, uh, but you are cool with, like, but you are like, and it's, they'll do this shit in circumstances where there's protections. Like they're the type of person that would not, like, if all society just collapsed, they're one of the first people to go. They're a total, and this chick's a communist. So she's like, lazy. She's lazy, gluttonous, sloth. All these deadly sins that she is. Just fucking manipulative, deceptive, schemy. Will lie about real little petty things, but thinks that corporations and billionaires should pay for her. But when there are basic circumstances that she is now in effect, she's not mad at corporations and billionaires. She's just pissed off that she's not the fucking billionaire. Like, she's just mad because the fucking second the opportunity proposes itself, she does the very thing that she is critical of other people doing. So it's like people that have that mentality, and then when you put several of them together, they feed off each other, and they play these little schemes and little games, just like B did at the other restaurant I worked, where she would purposefully write people up twice and then utilize that as leverage against you. And they're just like my sister. My sister's a communist. Not to get all political, but when people say, oh, I'm a communist, I immediately know that you're probably going to have this very perverted, like, how do I put, rudimentary kind of way about trying, they always have these dogmatic beliefs, and their ideologues, they're typically tend to be atheists, But then they have their religion, which is their belief system, which is Marxism. Because I've listened to these people, I've listened to them. They're some of the just crummiest people. And I don't want to make it sound like there aren't those sorts of people with other belief systems, but at least in restaurants, it's people that want to, like, that movie on Netflix. It has that dwarf actor, and he's like a mob boss. I think the title is something like "I Care a Lot," and that is just a excellent representation of the type of people that, you know like, they get it but they don't. Like, they get it but they don't. you know the lady in that movie thinking she doing all this shit, it's like she thinking she doing something slick, but then the mob boss guy comes and he knows exactly what the fuck she's doing, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, maybe he don't even get it. I don't know. He seemed pretty much fucking get it in the end, because I don't know. I don't remember the ending of that movie all the way, but it's just, you put, like, those two people are I guess identical, because I've only seen the movie like once or twice. So if I was to go into a deep dive on it, which I used to have a fucking YouTube channel on here where I would review things, and they would get like a couple thousand views back in the day. One of them did, I know. One of these videos got 2.2 thousand views off of an account with like no followers. I think that's pretty good. But anyway, like, you put all these people together and they scheme against you, and their intent, and this is the life lesson. If you're listening in this far, the life lesson is these people will play and pretend to be your friend, all the while stabbing you in the back, manipulating you, scheming against you, trying to destroy any semblance of hope, dream, ambition out of you, because they've completely given up and they, by large, have nothing better going on in their lives. That meddling and destroying yours is their goal. They're just shitty people. They don't get it. What is it? The Kruger effect. They're too stupid to know they're too stupid. Like, they're just stupid people with too much fucking care or influence upon your potential circumstances, because you all work together and you really can't fucking escape it. You cannot escape that working in restaurants. And this leads to the pathology of these people, is that people go into restaurants to get you to make them feel special and to kiss their feet. And the only people that are capable of maintaining that bullshit persona long enough with you, or willing to do it, are people who are the very people like S or just Shelby. Someone like her. This person that, you know, it was a couple nights ago, she was on a double and she didn't want to work that night. And so I'm asking her, like, I was like, look, please, you can't leave, because we got totally fucked the day that, like, the last week when you left. We got fucked. Like, you rushed out of here and we got fucked. You're not my boss. But I guarantee that when it's something she wants from me, and I know this because she's done this, but at the time I just wanted her to leave because I thought she was stupid, and I'd rather just make the money myself. I'll deal with it and I'll make the money at least. That's the way I thought about it. But now that I have another job lined up that I'm starting on Tuesday, I don't want to do that shit, right? And Jay, like, what's the other girl? We'll call her D. J, D, and Shelby. Um, they will all scheme together. They will. They will scheme together. They'll come over to you like last night and try and do this little bat their eyes. Will you please stay so that so and so can leave? And I'm just looking dead in the face. Like, now that I need to be, now that I don't want to do that shit, I was like, no. And they'll try another little wiggling. No. Wiggle some more. Please. No. I'm not doing it. I'm not fucking doing it. And it's like something, you, if you're listening to this and you're a young person, a lot of people are playing a role of who they think you want them to be. and they will do whatever they can inside that role to get whatever it is out of you. Whether this is guys like leading you on and making you think they like you to fuck you, or you're a guy and some girl is leading you on. Maybe y'all are banging. Maybe y'all are. But she trying to get you to buy her shit, spend money on her, or do what it is she wants you to do and she repays you with sex, or worse if she doesn't. They're playing you. They're playing a role. And, my dad has said, life is a dance. And he was saying it in regards to something. He said, life is a dance and I don't want to dance with them anymore. That's kind of like a good way to put it. It's like, it's, you will at times in your life have to play this role. And it is more often than not with people who, I don't want to say are lacking something, because I've met people who have a lot of, like, what do they say? Like, fuck you money. You don't need to play that bullshit game anymore when you're sitting on like a million, even 10 million, like $1 million, dude. You could just be fine for the rest of your life. You can work these little half-ass jobs and live like a normal life and have a house and, have a family, and you do these jobs you really don't like, and you don't have to play that bullshit game with them. When you have that other opportunity that you can go to, you don't have to play that shit anymore. And the unfortunate truth is for young people is that you really don't have that at a very young age. And what you can leverage, and that's like kind of a way to put it, you leverage the mortgage on some loan, you leverage something with the bank. I don't know if that's the exact way it happens, but if you have a family who cares about you, you have people around you who care about your well-being, if you're in a fairly like decent state of mind, you need not concern yourselves with these fucking people who have ruined every single opportunity that they have. Because these people envy you and want what you have. It's this logic of, I met this guy in a bar and he thought he could like steal the talent of this dude who made knives. He traveled all the way to Korea so that he could learn how to make knives from this guy. And he thought if I just stayed around him long enough, I thought it would rub off on me like radiation or something. And I'm thinking, no, dude, that's not the way that shit works. You can absolutely learn a lot faster around someone who knows what they're doing. You just mimic their behaviors, but you're not going to like take their talent, right? And that's what some of these people, that logic that they have is they think that like they're trying to steal your happiness. That's like a rudimentary way to put it. Like it's the click girl, right, at work, who is not like, to psychoanalyze these people. The click girl J and B, both of them, grew up and were likely made fun of, made to feel that they were not attractive by the men and boys around them. They were probably taken advantage of by trying to garner that sense of self-worth by giving men something and being enough for someone. I've dated someone like that where they just want to be enough for you, but it's a charade. They're not enough for themselves, and they want to fucking damage what you have. They envy you for your family, for your youth, your beauty, your height, your whatever talent, your goal, your dream, your aspiration. They don't have that. And so when you go in these places, it's like, what is it? Something, sheep to the slaughter, will eat you alive. It's kind of like a girl that I dated for a period of time. I remember she said like that if it was between, okay, you're gonna have to, you're the baby, it's like if she has to choose between her child, or her husband, she would choose the child to pass because y'all can make more kids. It's a very brutal, perspective on something, to be like, if you had to choose between your partner or your child, and if the child is, say, 7 months old or hasn't even been born yet, like it's not been born yet, let's just say that one, well, you can always just make more kids. But she's also the type of, and this is something she and I agreed on, was you need to be your number one. With Shelby, she doesn't care enough about herself to do right by herself. So then she wants other people to do right by her, and the very person who loves her and wants her to do better, she doesn't even care enough about herself to be the best version of herself, whom he is telling her he wants her to be, knowing it would be better for her. She can't even care enough to do that, but then she thinks other people are supposed to care about her. And that's kind of like the mentality of these people is you need to be your number one so that whomever you're to get with is their number one, and then they can be their best version of themselves for you, right? And this J person, she was not the popular girl. She was not the fit girl. She was not the good athlete. She really didn't have any talent. No one was really very nice with her. Anytime they were, they always manipulated her. Or I don't know if they did or not, but that's what she would always make it sound like. And then now she is trying to take these experiences from, if you are hypothetically a 20-year-old chick listening to this, odds of that happening, microscopic. But if you were, what I would want to tell you is be careful who you surround yourself with. Anyone, man, woman, age doesn't matter. Be careful who you surround yourself with, because people will, even if they are they're projecting themselves to you as your best friend, they're not. They are your fucking enemy, wolf in sheep's clothing. And don't even entertain these people. If you're in a position like at work where you need to play ball and you need to be fair, whatever, and you can deal with people for a moment, and then when the time comes, you need to be able to say, can you work for so and so tonight so that they can leave? They're on a double tomorrow somewhere else and they need to leave. Can you work it? No, I'm not doing it. You need to be able to say no. And that will be one of these small ways of building character by large, right? When the time comes to take advantage of an opportunity for something, saying no, like it's a restaurant job where they're trying to guilt me into working for someone else, and I may think, oh, of course I can work it, but you're being a fucking pushover. I don't want to. No, I'm not doing it. I didn't want to. I said, oh, no, I don't want to. I am the one that got here first, so I'm the one that gets to leave first. I do not care about you and your double tomorrow. That's you. If you don't want to work a double, tell them you don't want to work a double. Like that has nothing to do with me. And that might sound cruel and harsh and whatever, but the very people that are attempting to fucking manipulate you into working for them are the very people that are going to say shit like, well, you're not my boss. Like, please, like, not even saying don't leave early, just don't rush out the fucking door. Well, you're not my boss. 2 weeks later, can you please work for me? I have something I need to go do. No. So, even on topic of being capable and willing and ready to take advantage of something like an opportunity, whether it's a new job or putting yourself out there for a position of something that you're passionate about, right? Being able to stand up for yourself, even in some just ways that don't matter. It's a fucking restaurant job that I'm ready to leave anyway, so we'll just tell them no. But some people, well, you're being a pushover, and this can be kind of similar to this dude that I know. We'll call him, fuck him. The dude's name's Josh. Josh. And I was friends with this dude kind of for about 13 years, and that's a whole fucking dude. That could be split probably into 12 separate videos, to be completely honest. This fucking dude and psychoanalyzing him. This will give away my age, my like what generation I am. He and I were pretty young when the Guitar Hero was like a huge thing, and it was the song "Through the Fire and the Flames." This dude was practicing this song over and over and over and over and over again, and I remember, dude, he finally got to like 84% or something, 92%, and failed because the guitar didn't go into the what do you call it? The fucking like you would you'd raise the neck of the guitar, and it would go into this where all the keys or buttons were blue, right? Well, it didn't go into it, so he failed, and he never tried again. He never got it. He never got it, and it was one of those small microscopic things that in the end, he never actually did it. He never actually got it. I had a motorcycle at one time, and he wanted to get one. Motorcycles are awesome. If you're a young guy and you don't care about whether or not you lose an arm or your life, and you just want the exhilarating factor of it, and that could be a fucking video. Fucking motorcycles are amazing. He was standing at the motorcycle. I had one. I had a naked bike, so it was like it was a liter, and so it was it was just under a liter. Awesome, so much fun. And he was standing at the bike, like, with money in his pocket. And he texted me about it at the time, and I was like, dude, I can come over there right now and teach you how to ride it, and I'll help you get it back to your house. I didn't even think that buying it was even on the table anymore. I thought it was like, yeah, of course you're fucking buying it. You've been talking about this for fucking years. And here you are, legal aged to do it. And you don't fucking do it. Like, he didn't fucking do it. Like, it was like he didn't fucking do it. And it was like that moment right there. That, like now buying a motorcycle and you may be able to lose your life is a lot different than telling someone at work, no, I'm not closing for you. Because I don't want to. I want to go home. What do you want to do? What doesn't matter what I want to do. The reasoning as to why I want to leave early means nothing in this, right? So if you're a young person, you need to learn to say no. And you need to understand that some people get it and some people don't. And then some people get it and they think they do. And they'll manipulate you and they'll do all these things. But they don't get it so much so that they don't even see that they don't get it. They're too stupid to know they're fucking stupid. The Kruger, was it Kruger? Dunning-Kruger, is that it? Kruger effect? It's like their behavior eventually catches up with them, right? And how you act in your 20s will affect how you act in your 30s, and how your 30s is your 40s, and so on. And these people will at that point look like people, and this is like don't judge a book by its cover. Well, sometimes maybe you should, because there comes times where you need to realize that these people have made their own bed and now they have to lie in it, and what they're looking to do is scheme you out of your bed and destroy. They can't, but all it ends up doing is destroying your bed. So fuck these people and fuck these sorts of situations. Stand up for yourself, because some people just aren't going to be with it, and they are never going to be. And to end this, because I have a couple minutes, and how the reverting point that I'm hearing in my head right now is, it's like my sister. She has been protected by my dad her whole life. And she is the exact example of what if someone was left to their own devices, so much so, and they would ruin every relationship they have with everyone and push everyone away. But at the very end of it all, they're going to be that fucking person wallowing in self-pity on the street, begging you for a quarter, with this fucking heart-wrenching story about how they were this and that. And maybe some of them are. I'm sure some of them are. But the 80%, the overwhelming majority, is more often than not that they were really crummy people, and the whole story they're pitching to you, is bullshit. It's like if every one of her exes was a psycho. Every single one of them. Oh, all the guys I've dated are narcissists. It's probably her. Probably. And that goes for men too. Oh, all my ex-girlfriends were bitches and whores, or whatever the fuck they'd say. It's probably something to do with him. So you need to just protect yourself. Be cautious of yourself. And there's this girl, she works tonight at the job, and she's much younger than me. And I told her one day, it might have been the first night that we were working together, and I mentioned to her that, I just flat out told her that Jay normally doesn't make people do the things that you're doing. She was just finding all this extra shit at the end of the shift to prevent, because she couldn't make it easy on her, because it's like a young, cute, looks like her family cares about her, real, she's still a little awkward, so it's like, oh, she's smart though. And it's just kind of like, she's still kind of innocent, I guess. And I wanted to just let her know that Jennifer is purposeful. Dropped another name, Jennifer. Jennifer is just, she's just riding your ass, right? Giving you shit that she wouldn't give other people to do. And I told her it's probably because she's jealous of you. And the little girl said, my mom says that. And I said, well, it's true. And then I flat out said, don't prioritize this job. Don't give up experience that can be very beneficial for you. She has this, thing related to her job that she's going to start doing in like a month, or what she's going for, her career, whatever it is. And she has a very good idea about what she wants to do and all this stuff. And I told her, you need not worry about this fucking place, because you have something in a month and you're never going to be where you are again. And you do not want to look back and think, I gave up experiences and opportunities for some stupid job that could have and probably will absolutely affect your life in a very positive way. Because who you are, especially at a young age, you're 8 years old, dude. A year is a long ass time. 3 months is a long time. When you're 47, 3 months ain't shit. And so just you try to come to the realization that some people get it and some people don't, and some people, like, is it the Dunning-Kruger effect, are too stupid to see that they don't get it. So I'm going to listen back to this and see what it sounds like. But yeah, anyway.